In this video, I'm going to reveal how fluoride in your water may be ruining your sleep, as well as how it causes memory problems and also drain your energy levels. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Park, author of the Amazon bestselling book, Sleep Interrupted. My mission is to help you get the sleep you need for the life you want. So how does fluoride ruin your sleep and your life? The simple answer is that it builds up in your brain's pineal gland along with calcium, and it lowers your sleep hormone, melatonin. Plus, fluoride in the water hasn't been shown to reduce cavities, and it acts as a poison in your brain and your body. Stick to the end and I'll reveal why the drug companies don't like melatonin when it comes to coronaviruses and other viral infections. And the CDC and FDA never mentions a word about it either. I have to admit, I really don't like doing research on fluoride. I end up spending way too much time on it since I keep running into all these rabbit holes. Honestly, there's just too much information out there about this issue, and I had to force myself to keep this video under 10 minutes. If you want more in-depth information, there are lots of great books on this topic. The last of many books I read is called The Case Against Fluoride. Fluoride is naturally present in small amounts as calcium fluoride. The calcium buffers the toxic effects of fluoride on the body. The original fluoridation studies in the middle of the 20th century were done with sodium fluoride. These were deeply flawed studies that were supported by the dental field as well as the aluminum and later phosphate and sugar industries. But what's now in our water, fluorosilicic acid, is not natural. It's a toxic waste product from phosphate and aluminum industries. About 90% of our water supply is supplemented with fluorosilicic acid. So far, safety and efficacy studies have not been done at all. So from this point on, when I say fluoride, I mean fluorosilicic acid, not sodium or calcium fluoride. Over the past 50 years, there have been thousands of studies on the various harms of added fluoride. This includes sleep problems, memory problems, low energy, low IQs, early puberty, bone fractures, bone cancer, low thyroid levels, and even acne. In this video, I'm going to go over only 3 of these: how fluoride can cause sleep problems, brain dysfunction, and low energy. One of the commonly accepted facts about aging is that you need less sleep as you get older. The elderly have more problems falling asleep and staying asleep, but one well-documented finding is that as you get older, the pineal gland in your brain gets calcified with calcium and fluoride, along with lower melatonin levels. Melatonin is the sleep hormone that goes up starting about 2 hours before you fall asleep. It's also a very powerful antioxidant. So the more fluoride you ingest, the more calcified your pineal gland, the lower your levels of melatonin, and more problems falling asleep. There are also many studies showing brain damage and lower IQ levels with higher levels of fluoride. Here's a major study from Harvard, a meta-analysis looking at 27 studies which found that communities with higher levels of fluoride had much lower IQ levels. And here's one of many studies showing how fluoride can cause brain damage. From this paper, it documents various areas of the brain that are damaged by fluoride, including the hippocampus, amygdala, basal ganglia, cerebellum, cerebral cortex, and the medulla oblongata. And this is the pineal gland where melatonin is made, just for your reference. And this study shows that fluoride blocks proper mitochondrial function. The mitochondria are the energy or power generators inside all your cells, including your muscles and your brain. I cited a paper in a previous video that near-infrared light from the sun creates 95% of your body's melatonin. This is a powerful antioxidant that's made in the mitochondria all over your body, and it promotes glutathione production, which is another powerful antioxidant. Now, this is a study in rice, not mice, but probably applies to humans as well. They found that melatonin added to rice seedlings lowered fluoride uptake. The good news is that pineal gland calcification can potentially be reversed. This study placed rats raised on a fluoride diet and then given 8 weeks of a fluoride-free diet. They found that compared to controls, rats on no fluoride had 96% increased pineal supporting cells at 4 weeks and 73% increase in pineal cells at 8 weeks. And this study found that melatonin had a protective effect on cognitive deficits in mice, as well as to raise antioxidant levels of glutathione. There are countless other study headlines showing the benefits of melatonin, such as these. So what can you do to limit exposure to fluoride and also raise your levels of melatonin at night, as well as during the day? Here are 7 steps. Number 1. Since very few areas in the US have opted out of adding fluoride, you have to be vigilant. First, drink only filtered water, not the tabletop filters, but you need either distilled water or a reverse osmosis system. If you drink bottled water, check the proper sources to see if it has fluoride. There are websites such as this one, healthycures.org/fluoride bottled water. Number 2, eat and cook at home. since all the food and water used in restaurants most likely will have fluoride. And you have to remember that regular black teas have high amounts of fluoride. White tea is better, and most herbal teas have no fluoride. Number 3, various common medications also have fluoride. This includes Lipitor, Flonase, antacids like Protonix and Percocet, antidepressants such as Prozac and Lexapro, and many antibiotics such as Levaquin and Cipro. Number 4, most of the anesthesia gases have fluoride too, and maybe this is why there's some concern about general anesthesia in infants. Number 5, get fluoride-free toothpaste. Remember, fluoride was used in the past as a rat poison. There's also a warning label on the back of the toothpaste tube that says to call poison control if ingested. Number 6, get much more sun exposure for near-infrared radiation and melatonin production. If you don't have access to lots of sunlight, there are lots of near-infrared light boxes that you can purchase on Amazon, as well as salons that provide full-body therapy on all sides. And lastly, avoid bright lights before bedtime since blue lights lower melatonin. This is especially true of the newer screens that you see with smartphones, computers, and flat-screen TVs. And finally, let me explain why the drug companies, the FDA, and the CDC don't like melatonin, which is freely made inside our bodies and helped by the sun. If you go to c19early.org, which compiles all the proven early treatment options, you'll see that melatonin has been studied extensively for COVID-19, and it shows statistical improvement in all areas, especially a 78% response to early treatment. This information also goes along with data showing that countries with more sun exposure did much better with the pandemic. I think it's safe to say that this benefit extends to other viruses as well. I highly recommend browsing on the c19early.org website. I hope you found this information helpful. Honestly, even if you can make all the changes I mentioned in this video, you may not feel or look better for weeks to months. It takes time to flush out the fluoride from your body. It's also why it's important to add on various other lifestyle strategies that I talk about, such as eating dinner much earlier, good nasal breathing, optimal sleep, and eating a low carbohydrate, high good fat diet. If you want to take control of your health and take it to the next level, consider taking my 90-day sleep diet course so that you can sleep great and have more energy and mental clarity. Click up here to find out how.